Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final episode of Lights Out Tonight. I'm your host, Christopher Antwi, as well as my new lovely co-host, Julia Warner.
Yep, I'm Julia, and I'm stepping in for Katie this week, and we got a lot more coming to you right now on Lights Out Tonight.
Live from Farmington High School, it's Lights Out Tonight with Charlotte Anderson, Chris Antwi, Sam Baldwin, Katie Baum, Kinley Collier, Tyler DeWard, Michaela Gorman, Caitlin Kincaid, Tyler Rosenberg, Megan Self, Brighton Sheehan, Andy Stinson, Mackenzie Swanson, Julia Werner, Morgan Wiebold, Isaac Weberg, Mr. Mathis, Mr. Tauchi. Ladies and gentlemen, Katie Baum and Chris Antwi.
This week on Cooking with Fire, I used actual fire. Let's go check it out. Hi, I'm Julia Warner. You might be thinking, Julia, this is not your kitchen. You'd be totally correct. This is, in fact, my bedroom. I filmed this a couple weeks ago, so I forgot to film an intro. I'm totally sorry. But let's get into me cooking steak foil packets for my family. Let's take it to my past self and a pan of rice. Look back, these are ready. They're kind of hot. Ow. No, I have a glove here, but I could use that, but no. I'm going to open this up. So we got a little bit of steak, a little bit of asparagus, some rice. Yes. It's looking really good. I'm not going to try this because I'm going to actually sit and eat this with my family for dinner. So if you want to know how it tastes, just make it yourself. It's not that hard. And with that being said, this has been Cooking with Fire this week. We cooked with actual fire. You proud of me yet? I'm Julia Warner. And this has been Cooking with Fire.
In this week's final episode of Mysteries in History, Sam Baldwin takes us on an in-depth journey on the mysterious disappearance of Amelia Earhart. Take it away, Sam.
Welcome back to Mysteries and Histories. Today, we're going to be talking about Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart was born on July 24th, 1897, in Kansas. During her childhood, her love for aviation would grow. In 1928, she would become the first woman to be a passenger on a flight across the Atlantic Ocean. In 1932, she would become the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. In 1937, she tried to do the impossible, take a flight across the globe. In the plane, it was just Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan. They made about 22,000 miles on their trip, but would soon disappear. Throughout their flight, they were at a steady 7,000 feet altitude, but while they were over the Pacific Ocean, they rose to 10,000 feet for some reason. The rise in altitude might have caused them to use enough gas to burn out quickly and not have enough to make it to the island. After they couldn't hear from the plane anymore, the U.S. Navy started to pan out over the Pacific Ocean where the plane was last spotted and search for the missing. They didn't find anything. So what happened to Amelia Earhart and Fred Noonan? Where is the plane? Are they at the bottom of the ocean? Did they make it to land somehow? That is all for today. Thank you for watching this week of Mysteries in History.
Last week, FHS hosted a Grand March drive-up parade. Many teachers and staff members helped support and put on this event, and we thank them for their wonderful job making it happen. The parade is available to watch on the District 192 YouTube channel.
Despite the robotics season being discontinued, Rogue Robotics is still making a huge impact. Tylen Rosenberg finds out more about it. Take it away, Tyler.
During the preseason, Rogue Robotics members were making a difference by making wheelchairs for kids that needed them. Even now, one of them is still doing something for the community.
My name is Nicole. I'm part of the Farmington robotics team, Rogue Robotics.
Nicole is providing 3D printed ear savers to people in facilities who need them. If you didn't know, ear savers are bands that go behind your head and hold the straps of masks to protect your ears. Believe it or not, her plan didn't involve 3D printing at all.
Actually, my sister works as a registered nurse at Hennepin County Medical Center, and she reached out to me and she found like a picture on Pinterest of the cotton ear savers, so the strip of cotton with some buttons on the sides, and she sent me the picture. She doesn't know how to sew, but I do, so she was like, would you be willing to sew some of these for me and my coworkers? So I was like, sure, I'll see what I can find in my house, right? And I made about 35, sent them to her facility, and they were in love with them and they needed more, but I literally have 2 hands and that's it. And so I reached out to the robotics team because obviously they're very crafty people, and I asked if they'd be willing to help us, and we began 3D printing them instead.
Because these ear savers were such a success at Hennepin County Medical Center, Nicole wondered if anybody else needed them.
One way that we tried to promote this is on social media, but obviously a lot of facilities are so overwhelmed and busy, they don't have time to be scrolling through social media. So I've actually taken a couple days every week where I go on Google Maps and find every facility that is open that might be in need of these, and I just make a couple days out of calling all of them, taking orders, figuring out who needs what, and then we send that all out and start printing them.
Despite what you may think, some people didn't even want the help.
One unexpected difficulty was that when calling facilities, a lot of places were actually very uninterested, and I don't blame them. I know that they're busy and overwhelmed right now. They maybe don't have time for these phone calls, but at the same time, it's a really important device that can help a lot of people, and it's interesting and kind of discouraging to hear that so many people are not interested or not looking for this. So it's difficult to be able to help people when people aren't looking for help.
There are still many businesses that welcome Nicole and the team's help.
So far, we've been able to help out people in hospitals, clinics, food service, and childcare. And so we've printed 443. We're currently printing more, hopefully plenty more to come in the future, but that's where we're at now.
Even when Nicole can't physically be there to help, she still finds a way to help those that really need it. Especially today with all the stuff that medical staff are doing, they could use a helping hand, whether it be something like ear savers or just donating. If you want, a link to the ear savers 3D model is in the description below so you can 3D print them yourselves.
Many of the people viewing this show know me famously for the BIG broadcast. 3 years ago when I started the series, I was confused but passionate about making a segment for the local music scene, for the youth, and to also explain all sorts of experiences that I personally had in this state. On this final episode of the BIG broadcast, I take a slowed down recap of exactly what me and my team went through to create such a dramatic series.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final episode of the BIG broadcast. I'm your host, the BIG Caesar, giving you a recap of how the BIG broadcast was created and how it maintained its relevancy. Okay, so none of this is being scripted like normal episodes, so I'm kind of going off the top of my head. I'm just spitting it straight from my heart. And based off my really weak memory. Alright, so check this out. Picture this. It's about 10th grade. I'm gonna say it's around the year 2017 to 2018. I'm in advanced live TV and I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. Mr. Tauchi, on the other hand, actually does, and everyone else in the class knows exactly what they're doing too. He assigns jobs the first day, everyone gets their jobs and they go straight to work. Me being confused, I have no idea what I'm gonna do, so I sit there for the next 30 to 45 minutes just contemplating. What can I do? I look at all the machines, I look at all the options and stations around the room, and I'm just baffled. I don't know what to do. Sooner or later, Tauchi notices that I'm being a useless slob and calls me out for it and asks me, "Chris, is there a problem? It seems like you're not doing anything." And I'm just sitting here, and I quietly respond to him saying, I just don't know what to do." And then he tells me, "Well, you could just ask or get creative, come up with something." Me, right then and there, I'm feeling a little bit embarrassed, so I just say okay, and then I pace around the room for probably another 15 minutes. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I don't know how to work any machines. Here I'm thinking I should probably just drop the class. Maybe this wasn't for me. Maybe I wasn't meant to be here. Maybe this whole video production thing was just out of my league, and it's just not my crowd. Before I knew it, I was sitting in front of an empty notebook, just staring at it, the blank pages, trying to think of a creative name and a creative segment so I could contribute something to the class. And then all of a sudden it hit me, kind of like a light switch, the BIG broadcast. During that time, I was going by the stage name The BIG Caesar, a really cringy name that I really do not like using anymore. So please, anyone that calls me that, please stop calling me that. It was simply just for the assignment and for my aesthetic at the time, but it's terrible. So anyway, to continue on, I decided to go with the BIG broadcast because I thought, why not? I was going by the name The BIG Caesar at the time, which I thought was a great host name, and at the same time I was so passionate about the current music scene in Minnesota. Granted, the music scene at the time was a lot more interesting back then than it is now, but I was still passionate about it, and I was like, well, why not? This could be an easy A for me, plus I would have so much fun doing it. So instantly I started going straight to work. I drew out how every episode would look out, what the news would be like, certain fun segments in between each episode. And I know that Tauchi probably instructed that the segments needed to be 2 minutes, but I was so passionate that I ended up making them at least 5, 6, 7, 8-minute episodes. And for a while, they didn't really mind. And a lot of the people around town didn't mind either, but that's later on in the story. Anyway, I decided to just draw it all out. I drew out exactly how everything would play out, how each episode would play out, what I would say in the intro, what each little segment would be about. You know, you get the whole gist. I'm basically just babbling at this point. So I presented to Tauchi and I'm like, look, this is my idea. And he seemed pretty okay with it. He wasn't ecstatic like I had just discovered the light bulb or something. But he was like, okay, this is something you can contribute. Go ahead. It's your segment, it's your show. You produce it. So that's exactly what I do. I go straight to work. I figure out how the set will look like. You know, the logo, I draw it all out. I do it all in one day. And mind you, I'm ecstatic. I'm ready, you know, because I feel like I'm about to knock everybody's socks off. After that, it was kind of history. And season 1 began. More or less, season 1 was kind of a success. In fact, it was an incredible success. I didn't expect it to become so popular and for a lot of people to know me because of it. If I had to take a guess, that's arguably the reason why I'm so known around the school, especially by teachers. They loved it. They loved what I had to talk about. It was really informational. Not to mention they loved the fact that I never shied away from local talent. It didn't matter who you are, what music you made, or your musical background. I gave you a shot on the show, and I also gave you my most honest opinion on what you could do better, what I liked about it, and ways you could improve and network with other people. And I guess that's what made it so popular. It was authentic, it was raw, and everybody could participate in it. So, I don't know. I don't want to discredit everyone I worked with, you know, but I don't know. I feel like season 1 was really special, and a lot of people could vouch and say the same. I think one of my favorite episodes is probably when we went to go see the middle schoolers. One of my favorite times, because You know, a lot of the students I met there, I worked with for the second season. Students like Vinny Yeager. Vinny Yeager, he's like the only name I can remember, but there were multiple other students who ended up going into video production because of that trip. And it just proved to me like how powerful that investment was when we went and showed the kids that, you know, we're regular human beings, but we do what we love and we have so much fun doing it. And we proved that high school isn't just about doing your work and passing tests and just getting grades. You know what I'm saying? So I love that trip as well because of how, I don't know, like I said, how kind of like the show, how authentic it was. And I'll never be able to forget something like that. It was also one of the funniest because the kids were naturals. I couldn't get over that. Let's see. What happened next? Oh yeah. Summer happened. Went through some experiences. Experienced more in the whole music realm, especially in the underground. And then we came back for season 2. During season 2, I was kind of going through a hard time. A lot of emotional heartbreak. And I wasn't in the right space, mentally at least. I couldn't really figure out what I wanted to talk about, places I wanted to go. But one person that helped me stay afloat was Megan So, someone who I consider my best friend and best business partner. And even though we don't speak a lot anymore, and frankly, I have absolutely no idea where she is right now, she's still the most caring, most kind, most motivational person I've ever known in my entire life. And personally, season 2 wouldn't have happened without her. She was the one who kept me motivated, encouraged me to keep writing scripts, to keep coming up with ideas, to keep going places. Honestly, I don't know where it would have went. It probably would have been a lot more boring if she hadn't been by my side. I wouldn't have finished a lot of episodes if I'm being completely honest. So, thank you, Megan. And I'll never forget the final episode of that season where we kind of just had another recap, kind of like this one. And you know, we just talked about what we experienced, what we wish we could have done, what we had planned. And man, there was just so many unforgettable moments in that season. I'm trying to even remember that myself. Where did we go? I know we went to Electric Fetus, which is a vintage record shop in Minneapolis, famously known for like glorifying Prince and you know, owning old school record vinyls. We also did an interview with I don't think it was the founder, but the current owner of Electric Fetus, and that was really interesting. We got to learn about the history and, you know, the opportunities they provide, the events that they throw, and you know, who knows, maybe in the future you might see one of my records in there, if you know what I mean. Yes sir, yes sir. Anyway, other than that episode, we did the Yes Oshadi episode. That interview was probably one of the most fun I have ever had in an interview. It really cheered me up on a bad day. Yes Oshadi is incredible. Please check out his music. I don't know how to spell his name on SoundCloud, but because it's stylized different, but to spell it out word for word, or is it letter for letter, I can't really remember. It's YESSOSHAWTY, basically on all platforms. That was a great episode. Shout out Yes Oshadi. There was a Montez episode. He was featured twice in season 2. Once in the first episode where we reviewed his EP, which is now on all platforms, so y'all should go see that. I'm on there as well. We also did an episode where he explained the lyrics for another song that I'm on with him. I just currently cannot think of the name off the top of my head. I believe it's Carpet Cleaners, but that was an interesting episode, just watching his facial expressions. It took us a couple times. We had to take out a lot of lyrics just so we could be school appropriate, but all in all, it was worth it. I really liked it. The only other episode I really remember, which wasn't even an episode, was when we went to film for the Open. It was probably the most united I ever felt with the class. We went out, we filmed all across Minneapolis, and basically every segment got a spotlight. I think I did a scene where I walked past like the stars on First Avenue and like my name showed up on one of them. It was cool. It was amazing, you know, and one day I hope to have my real stage name on there as well. So shout out to Blake Peterson, shout out to Carl Azimus, Shout out to Shay. Shout out to Trinity. Shout out to Tyler. Shout out to Luke. Shout out Ethan and just all the older seniors that, you know, came before me that I miss so much. Shout out Pocky. There's probably so much more I'm forgetting, but you know, they know who they are. You know, they really, you know, guided the way for myself and you know, other people in our class, and I'm just so happy and grateful that I, you know, followed under them. And you know, I wish that season 3 turned out the way it could have been, because I feel like season 3 could have been a really magical moment, not only for my own high school career, but for, you know, the entire series overall. We had so many things planned, and I was super excited, especially to work with one of my best friends, Isaac Weberg, and I knew he had incredible ideas. So I'm really bummed out about that, but you know, everything happens for a reason. So you know, to speak on season 3, I know there was not a lot that I could speak on for this season. I didn't put in a lot of work. There was probably only 3 episodes overall, including this one. I wish I had done more, but because of quarantine and because of things I was dealing with at home, I never got to it. But who knows? Maybe in the future, maybe in the next year, maybe the next 2 years, there could be a return. Maybe not with myself, maybe so. Someone could take over, and if anyone was to take over, I'd gladly put that into the hands of Megan and Isaac, because those are the people that I trust the most. The people that I feel like would take the craft a lot more seriously and probably keep the legacy of the show to keep on going. At the end of the day, the show isn't about me. It's about the art form. And that's what I loved about it so much. I didn't want to get famous off of it. I didn't want to become popular because of it. I just wanted to explain why I was so passionate about music and why I worked so hard at it. And I wanted to give people information so they didn't have a one-sided view. And honestly, I'm just really grateful that the BIG broadcast got to where it was. And I'm super thankful to Mr. Mathis and to Mr. Tauchi for giving me a platform so I could speak on things I was super proud about. I want to thank all the students that came up to me saying that they were fans of the show, all the teachers that just explained how much they were moved by my content, and all the people outside of the school that really liked it. Shout out to Rico Shaw, shout out to people in the news, shout out to my mom, shout out to my family. I just want to say thank you. You know, I expected high school to end out a lot differently. I expected high school to turn out differently altogether. It didn't go exactly how I planned, and honestly, I wish I could do it over, but one thing I wouldn't do over is doing the BIG broadcast. The way it was done was extremely different, but it was perfect, just because of the memories. I'm thankful for Megan, I'm thankful for Isaac, thankful for Katie, because even though I didn't get to do the BIG broadcast this year, it was more than a pleasure to work alongside her as a host, you know, in Lights Out Tonight. So thank you to Tauchi, thank you to Mathis, thank you to everyone who has been with me on this entire journey. I know this is getting really lengthy, but I just really wanted to give him my piece and give him my thanks. So thank you guys for joining on the final episode for the BIG broadcast. Hopefully we'll meet again in the future. I love you all. And I love you to every single person who has taken a video production class with me. And remember to stay positive, stay groovy,
And stay as smooth as a smoothie.
For the final time, this is your host, the BIG Caesar. And remember to always stay positive, always stay groovy, and forever stay as smooth as a smoothie. I love y'all.
Although the school year did not go as planned, we still want to take some time to honor the seniors in our video production class and honor their hard work. Let's check it out.
God bless the USA. Come on, Jam Bomber!
How you doing, Andy?
How you doing?
You having fun?
He's just taking it all in.
That's
Not
awesome.
sure about it all, huh? Hi guys, it's Katie. Sorry I couldn't host this week's show. I wanted to, but family stuff came up, so here I am. I just wanted to thank everyone who has helped me during my high school journey. So that means Tauchi, Mathis, thank you for being wonderful teachers. This video class wouldn't be the same without you guys, because you honestly are very inspiring and passionate, and I know I can say that we all really appreciate it. And to everyone who has been watching, either because you were forced to during ramp, or if you actually willingly clicked the link in Schoology to see it during the past few weeks, I wanted to say thanks, because we couldn't do Tiger News, Lights Out Tonight, whatever show was happening without you, and I know we all try really hard, so even if you guys think it's silly or dumb, we know you think it's silly or dumb, but we've embraced it and we don't care. And I think that's a lovely thing about this class, because you get to create anything you want. Like, I don't think people realize, but the things that people create for this show is stuff that they're very passionate about. And I think that is an awesome thing and an awesome way for people to express themselves. And so we mostly do this show not for you guys, but for ourselves, which might sound selfish, but we want to do the best that we can, and we want to be proud of what we do. And I know that I am proud of everyone who has ever taken this class, because this class is not an easy class to do. We go live every Friday, we have a meeting every Monday morning, and a lot of times it gets really stressful and scary and overwhelming, but we usually pull it off somehow. So I just wanted to say I'm proud of you guys, even if you took this class once or 5 times. I think I'm taking it like 8 or 9 times now. But either way, it's fun every time because the people you get to meet are amazing. So to my fellow video production crew, thank you for being awesome and being passionate and caring about this show, because I know everyone who takes Advanced Live cares really deeply, or even if you couldn't take Advanced Live because your schedule wouldn't allow you, or if you're thinking about it, which I highly recommend you do, like take Tiger News, take Advanced Live, it's pretty fun. It's awesome because the people you will meet and the experiences you get to have are very unique, because Farmington is full of very unique situations and people and classes, but I can honestly say that this group of people and classes are very special. And lastly, I just wanted to tell everyone that I have met through these classes is I know that I'm never going to forget you guys, because even if you graduated already or you have yet to graduate, you have all made a giant impact on me as a person, because freshman year I was not the same person as I am now, which I'm very thankful for. But I don't know how much it means coming from me, but I'm proud of each and every one of you because we've all worked very hard, and I know we all really care about this class because it created a spot for us where no one else really had room for. Does that make sense? I don't know if that made sense. But yeah. I love you all, and thank you for being a part of this journey. But I hope at the end of your 4 years, this class and these group of people will mean as much to you as they do to me. So I think that is all. Thank you one last time. Goodbye, FHS. I hope that I don't have to go inside your school anytime soon, but I probably will. Bye. I'm just proud. Like, I'm just proud of you guys. Dang it. Now I'm not gonna be official.
Just keep going. See how proud you are.
We all know everything isn't going always as planned, and the news just isn't really positive anymore. But Mackenzie Swanson has some positive and fun news stories for you, so take it away, Mackenzie.
What's up, FHS? I know this third trimester wasn't really what we all planned, but we're sticking with it. We got this. I mean, we're finishing out the year. Last week, final day for new work. Look at us go. So without further ado, let's get into some good news. So as for national news, I know we don't get much good news lately or anything relatively out of Corona, but I thought I'd bring you some good news. So, if you hadn't known this, IKEA released instructions on how to build 6 different forts. So if you get bored, recommend doing that. I'm gonna put some of the pictures. They released them because parents are having a hard time with keeping their kids entertained, and they thought it would be kind of cool, and honestly I think some of these are pretty great and I might test them out myself. So yeah, take a look at these. And then a lot of the instructions use like some of the things that you could have bought at IKEA. So, but they do recommend that you don't go to the store and you do use whatever you can find in your own home. And as for local good news, I mean, us 2020 kids are graduating, and I'm proud of all of us for sticking it out and pushing through this horrible time, that we can come together and make do with what we can. I'm just proud of what we've accomplished as a senior class and how we're gonna look back and tell our kids, you'll never guess what I did in my high school career. So I'm proud of all of us, but I actually wanted to say thank you to all my teachers and to my friends and my classmates for being the awesome people that they are. I miss most of them almost every day, especially my friends and my good teachers. You know who you are. But definitely Miss G and Miss Chambers up in the counseling office. You guys are my people. I miss you all so much. All the people up there are great. All my teachers, you inspire me to push myself to be better, and I'm so happy that I actually came here and went to this school in my junior year. It has been one heck of a ride, and I'm so happy that I can count myself as a Tiger and be a part of the FHS 2020 graduating class. And with a heavy heart, this will be my goodbye, as I have enjoyed being a part of this class, every bit of it, even though it's been a bit tough. Saying goodbye to my classmates, even though I can't really do so. It's been everything that I almost could have hoped for in my senior year. So yeah, stay positive. Enjoy graduating, and don't, do anything too crazy in college. Yeah, good luck.
The NHS SCA All-American Award has been given out. The award is given to a high school athlete annually. The athletes strive in academics, strength and conditioning, athletic performance, and leadership.
Jake Nelson and Luke Werke were announced as earning All-American athlete status by the National High School Strength Coaches Association last week. There are very tough physical standards that have to be met for lifting maxes, vertical jump, and the 40-yard dash. They also look at GPA, leadership, and letters of recommendation for coaches. There were only 28 male athletes in the U.S. that earned the award this year. Congratulations, you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to the final episode of Lights Out Tonight. Our entire video production crew has been working so hard to bring you high quality shows that you can enjoy with your entire family.
We wish everyone a great summer and stay safe.
And for the final time, remember to stay positive, stay groovy, and stay as smooth as a smoothie. I'll see you guys later.